Okay, so wow, really looking crazy right now. Um, so I figured out some things today because God has been talking to me as usual. The first thing I figured out, which was actually last night, or not last night, yesterday at church, is that you have to worship through the darkness. When you start worshiping God through the darkness, He opens the gates for you. There was a moment in church where the worship leader was talking about worshiping God through our hard times, and I was so low. My spirit was so low, especially after the whole thing that I went through with the guy that I was talking about before, and it just to the point where my skin and my body had even reacted, and I had like a really bad allergic reaction to everything, which, as you see, I'm still kind of dealing with. But that being said, as he was talking on stage about Paul being in jail and still worshiping God while he was in there and the doors opening, it made me in that moment start worshiping God, like truly just glorifying Him and thanking Him and saying, God, thank you, even though I'm going through this. Thank you. You are a wonderful God. You are a good God. I mean, I know everything that you're doing, but I know it's gonna work out for my good, and I truly believe that. And thank you, God, for just being God and just being who you are. My spirit just lifted. Like I just had this overwhelming happiness, this joy that I didn't have for the entire, like it was like 3 days of just really just depression and just feeling so down and literally crying and praying like, God, just please take this away. That being said, the situation still is not done. But because I worship God through it, He then started to reveal to me some answers, and He opened the gates and revealed and let the light in. And in the light, there's wisdom because you know what's going on. Instead of the light not knowing what's going on and trying to remain positive, but just not having any idea or any awareness of what's happening. So, God ministered to me today through Pastor Tony Evans. And let me say how good God is. Now, I'm just chilling at work, and something popped up on my phone because I have a Tony Evans app. Popped up on my phone saying, hey, he has a new sermon out called Thorns. And usually when that comes over my phone, I'll just get it off of there because I'm at work. I don't really have time to listen to it. But something said, go ahead and listen to this one. And I think this something, of course, was God and the Holy Spirit. So I listened, and God began to minister to me through Mr. or Pastor Tony Evans. And he talked about something that you've been trying to pray away, and it just won't go away. And that's how I felt about the situation. I've been praying on it and praying on it for a long time, and it still wouldn't go away. And then it popped up, same situation, just new problem with the situation. Um, but when God gives you a thorn, and a thorn is something that just keeps popping up, just nagging you and nagging you and nagging you, it makes you, it lowers your spirit. You don't sound like yourself. I mean, during that couple days, I had said things that I would never, that, I was ashamed that I even said. You look at yourself in the mirror, you don't recognize your face, and that's how I felt with all this stuff going on. I was just like, wow. He was describing me as he was saying this stuff. And um, he said that when this happens, it's a thorn. It's there for a reason. The reason it won't be prayed away is because it's something that God's trying to reveal to you through it. And so there's two things that are happening. One thing is that God is getting ready to do something miraculous. And He needs you to depend on Him. Because if whatever is happening, if you think you did it yourself, you will never give Him the glory of it. And two, there's a sin in your life that God is trying to deal with. So He's disciplining you as well. So there's two things going on. So as I listened to this, I could really relate it to my situation. And I was like, I really do think I'm about to get a husband. And It's something I have been praying on and praying on and praying on, and yet it hasn't come to fruition. And God has been ministering to me about it. So I think I am on the cusp of this. But if I get my husband through Facebook dating or online dating, then I'll give that the glory. I won't give God the glory. I'll tell people I met my husband on Facebook, or I met my husband when I did online dating, instead of saying, no, I met my husband because God brought my husband into my life. That being said, there is a sin too that needs to be dealt with. My sin, I think, is insecurity. I think insecurity is a sin because as Christians, how dare we be insecure? We should be the most secure, the most powerful people on the planet. And instead, we are bogged down in these insecurities because we have not taken the time, for one, to know God, to know Jesus, and to know who we are in God and Jesus. To know what Jesus has done for us. If we knew what Jesus had done for us, there would be no fear. And insecurity is just fear. It's fear of, I'm too fat, so I'll never get a husband. I'm not pretty enough, so I won't get a husband. I'm not of the class to get a good husband. I'm not this, I'm not that. It's the insecurity. So when these guys are giving me this attention and like, oh, you're so beautiful, blah, 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 something I've never really heard before, especially growing up, even from my father. And it's something to be a girl and never hear your father say you're beautiful, but actually tell you the opposite, that you're fat or that you're ugly or whatever, because that grows inside you and it festers. And then as adult women, we so long to hear that any guy that says it, we're just like, oh, he loves me. You know, my whole life I never heard my dad say I love you, and so maybe 3-4 years ago. And it was after telling him and constantly telling him, like, Dad, you're my only parent that I have left. I have no one else to say that they love me. Like you would say that you love me. Like, can you just say it once? So he does try. And my dad loves me enough to change. He's not who he was before my mother died. He's not who he was 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And I know that's God because I've been praying on that relationship. And I just have been trying so hard to have that relationship with him that I can see it coming around. I know that's God. I know it's nothing but miracles. For my dad to say that he's proud of me, that I'm his masterpiece, that he loves me, is nothing but God. And I know that. But growing up not having that has given me a sort of insecurity about myself and who I am. Growing up having being picked on my entire life because I was different in some kind of way, whether I was different because of my size or because of my thoughts that I had. I was just a different kid. I never fit in. And now I know that God's chosen his anointed that you should don't fit in because they're supposed to be taking people to a different level. You can't be a leader if you're part of the pack. So I have never been part of the pack. Not saying that's against anybody who was, but just saying I never was. And so I always spent the majority of my time trying to fit in. To finally I just said, well, I'm not going to fit in. So let me just enjoy being me. And though I said that, there was still that part of me that just didn't enjoy being me. That I still felt like I wasn't good enough. That there was something that I could do better. I could be thinner. I really focused on my weight a lot because I feel like if I'm thinner, then I'm prettier. If I'm prettier, then of course I'll get a good husband, right? Because beauty is all about this. It's, first of all, it's listening to the world, not listening to God who says I'm beautiful. And it's listening to the world, not listening to God to say what my husband's going to want. My husband, who's going to be an eagle, is going to see an eagle when he sees me. And he's not going to want a chicken. He's going to want an eagle. So when the eagle makes with another eagle, he doesn't mate with that eagle because the beak is a prettier yellow or the baldness is just so grand. He mates with that eagle because that's another eagle. And in her, he can see himself. And that's what I think a real godly man, he looks for his counterpart. He doesn't look for the prettiest one in the crowd or this and that. Not saying you shouldn't take care of yourself. You should take care of yourself just to be healthy. I mean, if you're severely overweight, which I'm not severely overweight, but I am overweight. But if you're severely overweight, then you gotta do something about that, because if your body breaks down, you have a calling in your life. How are you gonna ever do what you need to do if you're not healthy? So it won't matter how smart you are or even how pretty you are. If you're overweight or underweight or just not eating right, and you can look good on the outside and your inside is all tore up, then it's not good, period. But wait, I lost my topic. My topic was, yeah, that a godly man is looking for his counterpart. Now, yeah, he has his attractions, just like you would have your attractions. Like, if you like them tall, skinny, whatever. But the bottom line is that isn't gonna be what makes your decision for you. At a certain point, when you are a Christian, you start to see people like God would see them. And that's how you get these odd couples, or you're like, how did they get together? It's because they see something that you don't see in that person, because first of all, you haven't spent the time with that person, and second of all, you don't know what they were looking for. So I'm looking for an eagle. So my counterpart is going to be an eagle. He's going to soar high to the heights that only an eagle can go. And of course, I got this from T.D. Jakes. I was listening to him when he was talking about how eagles mate. He was saying that, when eagles mate, they go so high, they soar so high, they can't mistake that they are mating with the chicken, because the chicken can't go that high. Chicken can't really fly. So know who you're mating with. So that goes back to the whole insecurity of thinking that a man that embodies my father would be so taken in by what I look like that he can never truly love me just for who I am. That's that insecurity. And I think a lot of people work so much on this and the outside that they forget about the inside. So, all this being said, the devil has been sending tear after tear after tear after tear, like all in my wheat field, just tear, 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 tear. And now I finally understand why. Because I've been praying on that too, like, Lord, just please send me the one. Don't don't let all these tears keep getting to me. Like, if they're not from you, block them out. If they're not from you, don't let them message me. If they're not from you, like, do something. And God's like, no, I'm gonna let this continue until you realize your sin. And you have to say, you know what? You have to realize what it is and turn away from it. But that only works when you handle your sin of insecurity. So my sin is the sin of insecurity. And so now that I know that it's a sin, I'm all convicted about it now. Now I'm all insecure about being insecure. So I really will be working on that. And yeah, I'm going to work out and watch what I eat and all that stuff. But just basically love my body for what it is. Love my face for what it is. Love my hair for what it is. Every scar, every stretch mark, every bump, every this or that, it belongs on me because God put it there, or he allowed it to be there for a reason. I carry scars on my legs that no one's ever seen because I don't show them. And I've been so kind of consumed thinking no man would ever want me because of my scars. Like, they're scars. They're on your body. God allowed them to be there for a reason. First and foremost, I understand what it's like to have a scar on your body. So I can relate to people who go through that. And I can relate to people who have it on their face and on their arms where they can't hide it. And I can understand the trauma. Because for what I have, if I couldn't hide it, it would be traumatic for me to go outside, I think. And so that helps me relate to people. The fact that I saw my body break down, where I literally had open sores that I had to tell nobody about because I was embarrassed. I could have lost my legs, all kinds of stuff. Could have got infections, all kinds of stuff that did not happen because God didn't allow it. But it put me through something. And it could have been the devil trying to break me down as well, but it made me stronger and it helps me have a compassion for other people. So everything that I'm going through that has milked up this insecurity in me has really worked out for my good. So I just really have to start being secure in who I am. And once you know who you are in God, and you know who you are in Jesus, and you know your identity, once again, we should be the most secure, powerful people walking the planet. So the fact that we're insecure about this, we're insecure about that, and we don't know this, we're confused, it's sinful. It's absolutely sinful. I mean, what did Jesus die on the cross for? So that being said, it's just another video diary that I will use at some point when I'm writing my book, my many, many books. And I'll remember this. And I can remember to tell people when I hear people say, "Oh, I've been going through this for years. I've been praying about it, blah blah." What is the sin that? What is it that God is trying to bless you with? And what is the sin that's keeping you from receiving your blessing? Like, we have to dissect it and we have to look at it, because let me tell you, God isn't just like a trickster. He isn't just a God that gets off on your unhappiness. He wants us to be joyful, but he has to spank us sometimes. And he has to make sure that we realize where our blessings come from, because if we don't, we'll keep making the same mistakes and thinking that's where it comes from, and it doesn't. It comes from him. And everything we do is for his glory. So if I walk around thinking I'm getting blessings from people instead of God, then I'll start to worship people. If I walk around thinking I'm getting my blessings from money instead of God, then I'll start worshiping money. And anything that we think that we're going to get our blessings from, that's what becomes important to us. That's what we will worship. So if I walk around thinking I got my husband because I was just the best looking girl on a dating site, then I'll start to worship dating sites. Meaning that's what I'll promote. That's what I'll tell people when they come and they're upset in their singleness. Instead of saying pray and go to God, I'll say, hey, go to this website and put up a profile picture. See how that works? Okay, so that's the end, I think. Just a little diary for myself. I'm done. Bye.